So today's team that we're going to be using, we debuted this in the last episode, but we're going to be using Marco's winning Oceania Internet's winning team and Federico's second place international, Oceania International second place seniors division team as well, with the Duraludon, the Whimsicott, Dracovish, Sylveon, Rotom Heat, and Conkeldurr. Let's get started and play some games. But today's common question for today is, have you played the new mystery dungeon yet? Because I believe when the video comes out, I believe it's like a day after the game isn't released. And let me know what you thought about it, especially if you played the original variant. Like, how do they compare? Because I don't know if I've touched it yet. I might get it. I'm not sure if when I'm getting it. I'm definitely going to play it. I just don't know when. We got an interesting team here. We got Tyranitar, Excadrill, Conkeldurr, Incineroar, a Jellicent, and the Togekiss. So we're actually in a pretty okay. Yeah, our matchup's not too bad. We have Conkeldurr, which is really good. Conkeldurr is really good against my opponent's team, because there are 3 fighting weaknesses on my opponent's team. Sylveon's actually pretty good because we can go for Yawn into Jellicent if we're worried about Jellicent. I do like Conkeldurr quite a bit here. So I'm thinking, what 4 do I want? I don't want to bring Whimsicott. I don't think Whimsicott's that good in this matchup, because I'm not going to fake tier stuff. I'm not sure which Pokemon I'm going to Dynamax either. The Rowdon doesn't seem too bad as long as I handle the Togekiss and the Conkeldurr effectively. Rotom Heat might not be too bad just because of the fact that I can go for the strong electric type moves into Jellicent and Togekiss, which I think are the Pokemon that are going to give me the most trouble. I think I'm going to lead Conkeldurr plus the Sylveon, I think, right away, with the Rotom Heat and Dracovish in the back. I wasn't sure because like I felt like I was running out of time based on the leads. I'm not exactly sure which is optimal to lead here for sure. I think I could have gone with Dracovish plus Conkeldurr. I could have also gone something like the Rotom Heat, I think, which would have been very safe because I don't think my opponent's leading Sand. I think Sand is a very bad, like you lead Tyranitar, Excadrill. I think that's really bad. Excadrill I could see leading, but yeah, it's Togekiss, Jellicent. So Sylveon's a really good lead here. I wish I led Rotom Heat Sylveon, but I didn't want to be too weak to Sand. We will bring this lead out. So I don't know if you're gonna go for a water type move or not. I'm gonna go into the. I'm just gonna go for Hyper Voice, I think, because Togekiss could reveal the safeguard here, and I want to weaken the power of that water spout damage that the Jellicent can go for. So I think I'm just gonna go for Hyper Voice. Just go straight for damage. Bring out the Rotom Heat that resists the flying and the fairy coverage that the Togekiss can go onto the Conkeldurr. I don't think it's super important to have Conkeldurr out now. But I do need to make sure that the health of my Sylveon's good because of the fact that I am a bit worried about the opposing Conkeldurr. So, Rotom Heat gonna come out. We go for the Hyper Voice. Does a pretty nice chunk of damage to both Pokemon. Dazzling Gleam gonna come out onto both of my Pokemon. Is that crit on Sylveon? It is a crit on Sylveon. And Trick Room? No, just Water Spout, which is fine. I did weaken the power of it for a reason. And yeah, we don't take too much, which is nice. Able to heal up with our berry, and I think now I can just go for a straight Thunderbolt plus a Hyper Voice right here into my opponent, because my opponent really doesn't have good switch-ins. There is that Excadrill that I guess could come out, but if Excadrill wants to come out on a Hyper Voice, it's going to break its sash, which means I could deal with Mach Punch. I could finish it off with Mach Punch later. And the question is, do I want to target down the Togekiss or the Jellicent? I think the Jellicent is a fine play. Yeah, so I'm gonna just Hyper Voice and Thunderbolt because, like, if it's the only water move is on Jellicent is Water Spout, I'm not really too worried about that. We're gonna see a Follow Me come out from the Togekiss as we are able to get a Thunderbolt off into the Togekiss, bring it down pretty low, and another Hyper Voice will be able to weaken the Jellicent even further and knock out the Togekiss, which is really nice. So, not too bad. Trick Room's gonna go up. I wonder what my opponent's going to plan on Dynamaxing, which Pokemon it is going to be. Let's see what comes out here from my opponent. It's going to be, I assume, Conkeldurr, but it's Tyranitar actually coming out, which is fine. I know Strength Sap is coming out and probably a Thunderbolt. That's what I would imagine. The question is onto who, though? Again, I think Sylveon's way more important than Rotom Heat, so I'm actually fine with sacking Rotom, I think. Because if we go for a Max Rockfall and a Sylveon and a Strength Sap into one of my slots, I can catch the Jellicent with a Thunderbolt. And I think Rotom Heat's very expendable. I don't think I need Rotom Heat at all in order to win this game. So I'm going to go Conkeldurr here with the Flame Orb Gut. It'll get its Guts activated with the Flame Orb, and then I could go for Mach Punch to do a ton of damage to the Tyranitar. Or we're going to see the Dynamax from the Tyranitar right away, which is what I expected, really. I think it's Max Rockfall and the Sylveon. Or potentially... actually, I don't know what else he would go for. Unless maybe he had like Steel Spike or something. So let's see here. Hopefully my mic is plugged in. Okay, my mic is plugged in. I want to make sure. Let's see. Strength Sap's going to come out. Tara's down to Rotom Heat. I was thinking my opponent would expect me to switch out to Rotom Heat. Or like it's more recovery than Sylveon, because I think Rotom has a higher base attack than Sylveon. So it recovers a bit. We're going to see the Steel Spike. It is Steel Spike actually. Okay, that changes a bit. Doesn't do too much. Okay, that's not terrible. We still have Dynamax on deck too, which is really nice for later in the game. We will be able to get a Thunderbolt off in the Jellicent. This makes sure that Strength Sap is a lot weaker than it is in the future. And yeah, not a bad turn, because I could double protect here, and the only way Jellicent survives this turn is A, if it has Recover, or B, Strength Sap's its own slot, which I think would be very possible, but that means the Tyranitar is doing way less damage, so I think that's okay here. So I'm just going to double protect here, because I don't want that Strength Sap coming out from my opponent into my Conkeldurr specifically. And yeah, this is looking like a pretty okay situation. It is interesting to note that there is a Steel type move on the Tyranitar, so there are a few options that I want to consider. One, it doesn't have a fighting move, or B, it might be Assault Vest, so that's something to consider for sure. So let's see. Of course, I might give my opponent the ability to just go for like the Max Steel Spec once again, but I think that's fine. Let's see if the Jellicent does go for that side Strength Sap, which is definitely a potential play here. Nope, goes for an Conkeldurr. Maybe... Well, I'm not Assault Vest, but yeah. We're going to see the Max Rockfall come out into the Rotom, which will be able to not pick up the knockout. That actually was a lot weaker than I thought. That was a lot weaker than I thought. We are able to get rid of the Jellicent though, which is nice. And then we're going to reveal that last Pokemon coming out from my opponent's side, which is pretty good. We do take quite a bit of chip though with our Conkeldurr, but... Let's reveal that last Pokemon here. I might want a Dynamax Conkeldurr depending on the situation of the last Pokemon too. So it's going to be Conkeldurr on my opponent's side. So Sylveon's looking really good in this endgame. Let me see. How many turns of Dynamax and Trick Room? Okay, so there's one more turn of Dynamax and there's a turn of Trick Room left. Okay. So I could Dynamax here with Conkeldurr and I think I'd be fine to do a ton of damage to the Tyranitar. And yeah, I am actually looking to that as a win con here. So I think I'm just going to go for Thunderbolt into Conkeldurr. And I'm also going to go for a Max Knuckle here into that Tyranitar, because I want to weaken it to put in range of Fish's Rend from my Dracovish. I think Dracovish could finish off the Conkeldurr with the... Fish's Rend into Hyper Voice, so I think I'm in a pretty good spot if I just weaken the Tyranitar and put it in the range that I need it to be. So, for Sylveon's Hyper Voice specifically. So I'll Dynamax Conkeldurr because it should be able to live a double up from both Pokemon. Let's see here. Gonna be a Mach Punch into the Rotom. Interesting decision. Maybe just didn't want to get burned with either Pokemon, but that's fine. A Steel Spike probably gonna come out here, but we're actually faster than the Tyranitar, which is interesting because this Conkeldurr doesn't have speed. Okay. So that works out fine. Activates the weakness policy, no surprise there. So it might just have 4 attacks. Steel Spike gonna come out, which is fine. That's still gonna do a good amount. Yeah, but it doesn't pick up a knockout, which is huge. Because again, I'm going for Dracovish endgame win. Okay, let's see if it's Flame Orb on the opposing Conkeldurr or not. It will activate. It is Flame Orb. Okay, so it goes down to Hyper Voice, which is really good here. Because I can go on in Sylveon now. The Dynamax is over for Tyranitar. I just protect Sylveon, sack my Conkeldurr because I don't need my Conkeldurr. And then I think I can win the game with my, I can win the game by clicking Hyper Voice into the Vicious Ren into the Tyranitar slot. Tyranitar, wait, how many turns of Sand are left? 2 or 1? No, I don't want to. No. Actually, yes, I do want to look at this. Okay, there are 2 turns of Sand left. Okay. Good to know. Protect and just max knuckle the Tyranitar, I guess. I mean, it doesn't really matter because I know Conkeldurr is going down to a Mach Punch here. Like, you should go for Mach Punch 100% into my Conkeldurr slot. Yep. So Mach Punch going to finish out the Conkeldurr. No surprise there. Conkeldurr will go down. And there is going to be an Iron Head from the Tyranitar and a Sylveon, but Sylveon going to protect itself from taking any damage. Conkeldurr is going to take a lot of recoil from the leftovers plus the sand damage. And now I think I just go out into my Dracovish and I click Vicious Ren into the Tyranitar slot because I just want to make sure that I knock out the Tyranitar, I think. And I'm pretty sure that Pixie Plate boosted Hyper Voice should knock out Conkeldurr. If it's a Guts variant, it's probably not as invested in special defense. I guess the question is, does Conkeldurr live? But if that's the case, what can I do? I could go for Rock Slide, but I don't want to risk a miss. Because, yeah. Because I need to make sure I knock out Tyranitar so Sylveon isn't threatened immediately. So let's go for that Vicious Ren and the Hyper Voice here. Tyranitar going to protect. Okay, smart play from my opponent. Does go for the win con you do need. But goes for the Mach Punch instead into Dracovish, which actually did a lot less than I expected. I thought it would do 40%. But let's see if Hyper Voice is able to pick up the knockout into the Conkeldurr. It is able to pick up the knockout on Conkeldurr like I expected to, so the game was ours. Because even if there was a crit from the Conkeldurr, it didn't matter because it wouldn't KO the Dracovish. It wouldn't KO Sylveon either because Sylveon resists that. And Sand is gone too, so Hyper Voice was going to be able to pick up a double knockout anyway. So the Mach Punch play didn't even matter in the long run anyway. But my opponent had to probably hope that Hyper Voice survived, like Conkeldurr lived the Hyper Voice, which it didn't anyway. So, but I think you had to go for a, I think you have to risk Conkeldurr going for like the Drain Punch to weaken either the Dracovish to put in Mach Punch range or the Sylveon and hope you get a crit. Or you knock out Sylveon, which that's boosted Thunder Punch, Ice Punch might. I'm not exactly too sure about that. But we are able to pick up a win, which is really nice. So we start off the episode with a win. And wow, we climbed 1,100 placements from just a win. Are we in top 1,500 if only... Oh, wow. I know it's only, what, day 4 when I'm recording this? Yeah, it's day 4, but still. Fenno. Oh, this is an interesting team. It's got both a Defiant and a competitive user, but we don't have Intimidate, which is a good thing. My opponent's team is really weak to the Rotom. Rotom Sylveon looks really good against my opponent because I could just click Yawn and Hyper Voice and plus like fire attacks with Rotom. So I think Dynamax and Rotom's going to be good here. My Duraludon's actually pretty solid here as well. I'm not sure if I'm gonna opt for it because Conkeldurr also looks decent under Tailwind with close combat. So there's a lot of things to consider here. I don't really like Dracovish, so I think I'm gonna leave Dracovish behind. It only hits the Incineroar for a lot of damage. Maybe the Braviary, but I'm not exactly too reliant on that. So I think I'm gonna go Sylveon. Should I just go Sylveon? Sylveon Rotom Heat, or kind of like Sylveon Rotom Heat. It just covers like a lot of bases that I have. And then do I bring Whimsicott? Because Moonblast is kind of nice, but I just don't see it. The Tailwind's nice too, but I don't think it's that worth it. I think I'm gonna bring Duraludon and the Conkeldurr in the back. I think Duraludon can put in work, even if I don't Dynamax the Duraludon. I'm not expecting to Dynamax the Duraludon this game. I'm expecting to Dynamax the Rotom Heat this game, because I think Rotom Heat just puts in so much work against my opponent. And Duraludon, I think it's good just to handle the Dragapult, just in case it gets a bit out of hand. So let's see. It's gonna be the Incineroar Grimmsnarl. Okay. Double Dark. Alright. Luckily, we have a fairy type that's actually pretty good against my opponent. I could double protect here and let my opponent get the free attack off. I could go into Conkeldurr too to activate my Flame Orb because it's my best way to handle the Incineroar right now, but I don't think that's worth it. Actually, it might be better just to Hyper Voice and Thunderbolt. Just because like I get more chip damage, even though the fake out chip's gonna hurt the Sylveon if it goes for it. Like I think I'm okay with it. Actually that did a lot more than anticipated. What the heck? The fake out did a lot more. Light screen goes up, which I'm not surprised about. I will get a Thunderbolt off into the Grimmsnarl, and yeah, I want to make sure I get the Grimmsnarl chip. So I kind of wish I protected the Sylveon instead, but it's not too bad now. I could yawn the Incineroar slot, but I think it's gonna Parting Shot or Flare Blitz here. So it might just be better to just keep aggressively targeting down the Grimmsnarl, I think, because I think Grimmsnarl is an annoying Pokemon to my team. Just because like Thunder Wave is gonna be annoying. It can get screens up, but that's fine. I think Spirit Break's the thing I'm most worried about, as it does a lot of damage to me, and I can't really switch into it. So I'm able to knock out the Grimmsnarl, which is nice, because like Spirit Break was threatening my Duraludon with the special attack drop, as well as the Conkeldurr on the switch. So we're gonna see Flare Blitz in the Sylveon. Oh, this Sylveon coming clutch, 1 HP, but that Incineroar is really invested. Is that a Assault Vest Incineroar with like a lot of attack investment? Because that's what I assume. Because that fake out did a lot, so did the Flare Blitz. See what's coming out though. Dragon Bolt. I mean, I have Duraludon in the back. I'm not really too worried about taking a lot of damage. And you have to target down Sylveon with the Dragapult if you want to pick up a knockout here. So I think Thunderbolt might be a safe play, or Dark Pulse. I'm worried about activating Weakness Policy, which is the only concern. So I think I'm actually going to Thunderbolt the Dragapult slot. And the reason I'm going to Thunderbolt the Dragapult slot is because I don't know if this is a bulky Dragapult that, let's say, is Weakness Policy that could survive like my Duraludon's Max Dragon. So I think I want to chip away the Dragapult to ruin that calc and go for Thunderbolt and weaken it, because I think I can handle Incineroar with my endgame Conkeldurr. I think it's a range of Mach Punch, so I think I'm okay with that. Max Phantasm should be in the Sylveon. Yep, it's fine. That's gonna lower my defense, which is annoying, but it's not like the end of the world. And Incineroar shouldn't be able to knock out Rotom Heat. I feel like a lot of them run Darkest Lariat. This one could run Throat Chop, but we'll find out. It's Life Orb, okay. Thunderbolt into the Dragapult slot. Snarl, okay. So it should be Assault Vest, I assume. I just don't know if it's Life Orb Physical or Life Orb Special. I'm gonna go my Duraludon here. I should Dynamax immediately. Or should I Max Lightning the Incineroar? Because I feel like it's very likely Dragapult just goes for Max Guard, if it does have it. But if it doesn't, I think the best play is actually just to go for the Max Dragon. Yeah, I think it's worth it actually. I'm going to go Conkeldurr because one, I don't want to take another Snarl again. Two, I'm going to need Rotom Heat to deal with the Milotic if it is that Milotic in the back, or that Ferrothorn. But I guess Conkeldurr could handle Ferrothorn, so that doesn't really make much sense. But I do want the ability to threaten the Incineroar next turn with a Mach Punch if it stays in, just to go for Snarl. So I think that's why I want to make this play. If it's Life Orb, I'm assuming this Dragapult's not really bulky. So I think Max Dragon after another Life Orb chip should knock it out even at -1. And that's why I want to make this play. So let's see. No, it just goes for Max Dragon, which is fine. Into the Duraludon slot, which is perfect for me actually, because even though I'm taking a -1 attack with the Conkeldurr, I think this is a pretty decent spot to be in, because now I'm going to be able to pick up the knock on this Dragapult. I don't see it living. The Max Dragon after all that chip damage I gave to it. What? I know I'm not Life Orb, but that's still insane. That's insane. Goes for Darkest Lariat. Into my Rotom, okay. I'm surprised he went for Max Dragon over Max Ghost, but that works out fine for me. Because now I get to go for... I'd say Max Steel would knock out Dragapult, and I think it's the play. And I think Conkeldurr should be bulky enough to live a attack from the Dragapult at the range it's at. So I'm actually going to go for the Drain Punch into Incineroar, because Conkeldurr with the speed investment should outspeed the Incineroar and get a Drain Punch off. Max Dragon going to come out once again. Not able to pick up a knockout into my Duraludon, but I'm still going to be able to pick up a knockout here with the Max Steel Spike, and then Conkeldurr will live any attack from the Incineroar if it somehow outspeeds, but if it doesn't, I should be able to knock it out with Drain Punch. So, goodbye Dragapult, as we will get our defenses up. And let's see what my opponent does. Maybe it was Draco Meteor and my opponent wanted to go for as much damage to my thing as possible, because I think if it is my loading in the back, my opponent doesn't have the best answers to hit it. Ooh, and that Max Dragon and the Max Steel Spike paying off dividends as we are able to survive. The Incineroar is fast though. We are able to knock out the Incineroar. Or maybe I'm just underestimating this Conkeldurr and how much speed it has. Which could be the case. I am able to knock out the Incineroar, which is nice. So Incineroar does go down here. Actually, I probably am underestimating Incineroar. I keep thinking that Incineroars run mint speed, which not all of them do, obviously. That was like a 2019 habit of mine. Alright, Braviary are going to come out, which is fine. I'm going to go for the Max Steel Spike into the Braviary slot and switch out into my Rotom Heat, because if the Braviary protects to stall out a turn, which I don't think you should just go for an attack here. I'd say the Brave Bird into the Duraludon, but even if it does, that's fine. Yeah, you should always go for Brave Bird, which is fine. Because, like, I get my Conk reset because it was at -2 attack. So now a close combat will threaten the Braviary, and yeah. Braviary can only target one slot, and I don't even think my opponent can really beat down the Rotom Heat well. So we'll go out into our Conkeldurr. We get to click Ice Punch, which does more than Drain Punch, I think. Yeah. And we go for Thunderbolt. So let's see if this Braviary has anything that can actually beat me. And Rotom's actually faster than Braviary. Oh yeah, because we're Timid Max Speed, which makes sense. Get a paralysis of Conk might outspeed afterward. Are you Lumberry or Citrus Berry? Lumberry, okay. So it didn't matter anyway. Brave Bird into Conk. Yeah. Able to pick up the knockout, but we already saw Rotom Heat was faster. There's no way Braviary can outspeed my Rotom Heat. And we should be able to win the game with a Thunderbolt. So nice. We're able to pick up 2 wins in today's episode, which is nice, because I think this game, definitely, I think our Sylveon was putting in work pressure-wise immediately, because we were able to get rid of Grimmsnarl. Oh, wait, because my opponent had Light Screen. That's why the Dragapult survived the Max Dragon. Oh, now it makes more sense. I always forget. I forgot about that. Okay, that explains so much now that I think about it. Because we were able to get rid of Grimmsnarl, which was nice. We were able to chip the Incineroar to put in Drain Punch range. We were threatening the Dragapult. Thankfully, it wasn't weakness policy, because if it was weakness policy, that could have been scary. But we revealed it was Life Orb, like, once it targeted Sylveon. So I could have just went for super effective moves anyway. It didn't change anything. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's episode of VGC 2020 Back to Battles. I hope everyone enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like down below. Should support as well as you can check out the rest of my stuff down below in the description. Such as my social medias and the size of my channel. If you do enjoy these videos, be sure to leave a like down below, as well as leave a comment. Answer the comment question today is, did you touch the new Pokemon Mystery Dungeon DX that came out, and how does it compare to the originals if you played the original? As well as be sure to hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell notification to make sure to get notifications on when new videos come out. You can also check out my social medias, the size of my channel. There is my Patreon page and my Twitch channel. If you want to go an extra mile to support my content, my Twitch channel, you can come hang out and have a fun time. I do VGC streams, answer questions, and it's a great time all around. And if you want to join a community Discord, it's also listed down below in the description. Feel free to come hang out with anyone else who is basically trying to get better at VGC. We do battles, we do trades, we do team building, we do a bunch of that stuff. Link in the description down below. But thank you all who tuned in today. Thank you for watching the video. Have a great day, people, until we battle again. I'll catch you all later.